Good morning. Today we'll be learning 15.2 in biology class.
Show you some pictures here from the Galapagos. This is a crab called the Sally Lightfoot crab.
Ow.
We found those things all over the place. They don't really have any predators. The only thing that eats them is a type of hawk that eats the babies. But the adults, they're red colored, and the reason why is because if you eat them, they're poisonous. And so you get sick. So nothing really eats them.
So are they like big?
No, they're well. That's how big they are.
Alright, never mind. That one just looks huge.
Yeah, it's kind of close up.
Yeah, that bird looks like 8 feet tall.
These are a bunch of a lot of places on the Galapagos. You find these tortoise sea turtle nests. These are just like the ones we have here on Jekyll. And if you dig into these nests, that's what our guide is doing. You can dig up eggs, and he showed us some of the eggs. Yeah, Washington was the guy. We went to this little tiny island right here called Plazas Islands.
Don't if you dig up the eggs, the mothers don't come back?
The mothers don't come back anyway. The eggs hatch and the little baby tortoises crawl to the sea.
If you help the baby tortoises get to the sea,
The mothers never see the tortoises, the babies.
Maybe kick them to later.
See if this works.
I want to be one of those when I grow up.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of fun.
I want to be a seal when you grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be a lion when I grow up.
Are you getting any of this, Ellen Grace?
Yes, I am.
You seem not to be.
Oh.
There's Carolyn. She took 4,000 photos.
What?
There's a variety of iguana called a land iguana. That's me next to a cactus.
You're looking serious.
And these land iguanas, they eat these cactuses. And you can see the cactuses grow to a height that's taller than the iguana, so the iguana has trouble reaching them. The iguanas like to eat these little baby cactus pads. You see those little green round things?
Cacti. Correct.
You can see all the cacti grow to a certain height above the iguana's reach. But the iguanas can get the cactuses when they're smaller.
Cacti.
These are cliffs. Standing on the edge of a cliff there. Jumping off the cliff.
How high is that?
No, bro,
It
go
was
back to that.
50, 60 feet.
Bro, after that picture, you're about to jump, you should have a picture of like nothing there. It's like, I jumped.
Because that's so readily available.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just go.
Had a bunch of birds nesting around these areas. Just Amy, a friend of mine. Bunch of dead animals on these islands.
That's sad.
Why should you kill them?
They aren't allowed to move anything, so they just leave the dead corpses where they are.
Why not?
That's what they ask you not to touch anything, to try and leave the islands without human interference.
Did you take any crossbones up?
Is this when that guy makes the noise?
And here's a turtle. Here's a turtle that goes a little tank.
What's that seal thinking?
He's posing. He said, "Get my good side."
That could be you, girl.
Yeah.
I just want to hold one. This is some...
How does that not hurt?
Because they got like
one.
an inch.
Is that like a cry? No.
Yeah, they make. That's the noise they make.
He was calling Drew.
You just went face plant into the rock.
That's Washington doing his call there. Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, do it again in here.
You can't do anything.
Hey, dude.
Or over here.
Something's wrong with the video. It's like half.
it's cut in half. Bro, if he kept walking straight, where would he end up? Like,
It's a,
oh,
South America.
it's a thin island. The island. He would end up where those cliffs are on the other side.
alright, cool.
So can you jump off?
Can we watch it again?
You know? These are the little the cactuses. They're called Opuntia cactuses. A round rock. How do you get a round rock?
I can tell you.
That's what I'm wondering.
It's a fossil of a large golf ball.
They're gonna like toss a J.
What it is, it's a rock that's not round, but it gets in an area where the tides come in and bash it back and forth against other rocks, and it eventually smooths out all the edges. Isn't that cool?
No, it's not.
You found several of them around this area. Now this is it's a hybrid. This is a cross between the land iguana and the marine iguana. And the thing about these hybrids is they can climb the cactuses. And there's only 3 hybrids on this island, they said. And we caught one of them. That's me gonna eat some cactus.
What is it eating?
There's a hybrid crawled up into the cactus eating one of the baby cactuses.
Why can they?
Because they're a cross between the land and the sea iguanas, and apparently that makes them have the right ability to climb. And so there's only a few of these. They're all sterile. They can't have babies. There's one up there eating.
Are they naturally sterile?
Yeah, they're sterile because they're like hybrids.
Just like a lager, right, bro?
Yeah, like a liger or a mule is a cross between a horse and a donkey.
Mules can't have babies?
Nope, mules can't have babies. So those things do really well, those hybrids. They got plenty to eat. Here we went to a different island, that's me. My serious golf pose. About to go diving.
Whoa.
We swam with the sea lions.
Is that water really salty?
It's really cold.
Or was it salty?
It's of normal salt.
Is it like... It's always like salty?
Salty as the ocean.
You go deep out, like instead of here, if you go deep out into the ocean, like I went 80 miles on
More salty?
and it was incredibly
Oh,
salty.
I didn't.
I heard
Yeah,
that
it was
shit
like-
less salty. I
It
think.
would flip now.
You would be wrong.
You
would be wrong.
Here we went to this island, Espanola, on the very edge.
When I did mine.
Here's the boat approaching it.
Yeah, booby.
Blue-footed boobies is what those birds are called.
Did you touch any boobies while you were there?
Me hanging out with.
Yeah, did you touch any boobies while you were there?
You weren't allowed to touch any of the wildlife.
What after?
Look how tall the cactuses are on this. That's the same cactus. But on this island, they're really tall. You know why?
Because the...
Natural.
So the hybrids can
This
get
is the island where the long-necked tortoises used to live.
Oh.
Well, were there next to that one?
Yeah, they were so big they could stand on hind legs and stick their neck up and reach.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and reach real tall.
But why does a tree grow like that?
bro, you're short.
Just
Because I was told that.
How's that a
The
neck
tree
area?
cactus evolved
Short
to
one's
be
not.
able to avoid getting eaten by the tortoises.
Alright, gotcha.
See, I can't even reach it. That's a finch.
Is it
Is
dead?
it a dead?
No, it's alive.
Did you kill it?
Mockingbird. Another finch.
Oh, fluffy.
Another finch. Ooh, that's a good picture.
That one dead too.
More
You should
finches.
submit something
Finches
to
were
National
everywhere.
Geographic.
Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Blue-footed booby.
That's some deep stuff.
The sheep cross.
This, you can really see that these pictures are a lot better than were on the screen. What's going on?
That red thing for those iguanas right there. Up there, the red.
Is that super teacher guy?
We're stuck.
Uh-oh.
The little birds weren't scared of people either. You walk right up to the birds.
What does sea lions eat, bro? Fish, right?
They eat fish, yeah.
I can do that.
Is land?
laying there.
It looks disgusting.
Here comes one of the dominant males. They exist in these groups where the dominant males, you get one male and about 15 females. And that's the dominant male, I think. And they'll chase off any other males that come around. So he's chasing off that other male. Yeah, they'll fight.
You're voted off the island.
And what another male will try and do is run off the dominant male if he's big enough, but that one's not big enough, so he's getting run off himself.
They look bigger.
Get off my island. That's what he's saying to him.
Yeah.
So we check it.
And then what the other males do, the ones that get run off, is they go back and they eat a lot and grow bigger, and then try and come back and take over the colony.
Are there sharks on there?
Yeah, there's a lot of sharks around.
A lot of sharks.
Yeah, I'll show you. I got some pictures of some sharks.
Nice.
What about you?
Do the sharks eat sea lion?
Yeah.
I don't know if the sharks eat sea lions.
I heard the sea lion.
You'd step on those iguanas because they blend in so much if you start walking on the rocks. There's an iguana. Okay.
That bird looks like he's got
Stop
his
talking.
head cut off.
Any chance of that? There's an iguana staring down a bird. Swallow-tailed gull is what that's called. Bunch of
I ate a
iguanas.
couple of those back in the day.
That's me meditating. Look at the cliffs there. That was a beautiful spot.
Is that Washington?
That's Washington showing us some places where these birds nest.
What the heck is that?
What if I just moved out to that island?
These are the albatross. You can't. There's no way. They won't let you.
What if I camped out in a cave?
You can live. There's three places where you can live on the Galapagos. 3 islands, and the other islands they patrol. They don't let anybody go to them unless you're with a guide. These albatross are funny birds.
So you're very lucky to be able to go to these islands, bro.
Well, you can pay. Anybody can pay to go.
Yeah, you're just lucky.
Here's the albatross.
That's what you call it.
They're like you or something.
No, they don't. They come right up to you.
It's like
None of these species have been hunted by humans, so they aren't scared of humans. When humans hunt, what they do is they shoot all the ones that aren't scared. And so the ones that are scared of humans are the only ones left. And then they have kids, and their kids are scared of humans. So human hunting breeds populations that are scared of humans. Evolutionarily, the only ones that live are skittish. They're nervous ones. So if you don't hunt organisms, you'll find they aren't scared. There's me with a mimosa plant.
You can, it's just...
4 iguanas.
we got the wrong one.
They
Travis
were
the
holding
honeymoon.
hands. Look, go back. They're
Look
holding
at these
hands.
birds are coming up to him,
Wait,
checking out his.
What's that in the back? Okay.
Travis's wife,
They
Laura.
took a honeymoon to the Galapagos
Yeah,
Island?
That's so cool.
I just don't...
Look at that finch. Look how wide its beak is.
That's a nutcracker.
Yeah, that's the one that it lives on the island where the only thing to eat are hard-shelled nuts. It's a different one. Look at it starting to get to the dry season, and everything that was green there turns gray, and you have no green plants on any of these islands when the dry season begins.
Flamingos.
Flamingos.
That looks kind of green.
Well, it's not dry. Water.
Yeah, this was just the beginning of the dry season. It wasn't too far into it, so there's still some green.
Is there dry season going on right now?
Yes.
How long?
You know,
Two of the girls
They're
are
wearing
wearing
pink
pink.
shirts.
you
I
should
get it.
submit some of these photos to
Okay.
National Geographic.
Yeah, I have a couple good ones. I'll put a couple of them up on the wall. There's our group. They didn't know how to work my camera, so it turned out blurry. The post office?
Did you use your new camera for this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You go drop off a letter here, and then people who come to the island go through all the letters, and if they find one from their hometown, they bring it back and give it to the person in their hometown. So
Did
you
you
don't
find
need a
one?
Are they
stamp.
divided by state?
No, I went through. No, they're not divided. You got to go through all of
Hey,
them.
Pro, did you leave a letter?
I did. I left one that said, left one to me, and I said no one, and it said no one will ever bring you this letter.
So fun. No one.
We went down in some caves. Oh, there's us diving. I don't have a picture from that first cave because it was water up to your neck in that cave, and the ceiling was here, and you had to wade through the water. And they told us not to bring our cameras
That would
down
be so creepy.
because you'll get your camera wet. So no pictures from that one cave. But here's the sharks. We did dive and chase around a bunch of sharks. These are called white-tip reef sharks.
How come your camera? Wait, do you have a waterproof camera?
This was a disposable waterproof camera.
Oh, okay.
I could have taken that into the cave, but I forgot to bring it.
How far were you?
Plus, it was real dark. You wouldn't have got any.
How far were you into the cave? Like, was there any places you could quickly get out of there?
No,
If it fell, you would probably.
it was way far. It was a
I mean,
tube.
like,
It was a tube that was about as long as a football
There
field.
was like a murder in there. Yeah.
Over here.
That's where I would go. Wait for Jerry to come.
Look at the sea turtle. There's an iguana.
I'm kidding.
That's one of those water.
That thing swam right in front of me.
Those things are freaky in water.
Look at the iguana swimming here. See it?
Yeah, they like sit on top of the water.
The seagoing iguana is the only place in the world that has them. I was diving and that thing, I was just snorkeling and that thing just came right by me.
When I was in Florida not too long ago, there was an iguana.
Seagoing iguanas?
There was an
No.
iguana in the water.
They don't have them in Florida.
It was green though.
Alligator?
I don't care if it was one in the water. It was one of those.
Oh, you touched it!
Whoa, bro.
I'll figure it
Not
out.
cool.
They said it's like poison ivy. Here's the Darwin Society where they have these turtles there and they're protected and they let them mate and then they release, when they get big enough, they release them onto the islands.
Those aren't big.
How much does what?
Tons.
Hundreds of pounds.
They're not big enough yet.
1,500.
They're real funny. They look right at you.
Can you touch them?
anything?
They asked you not to, but we did touch them.
Broke rules. So you broke rules twice.
Who's that?
You touched the top of the
That's not cool.
Did you ride them?
Thought I knew you.
Riding a freight.
I never rode them. Now they'd have kicked you out probably. There is a picture somewhere of Darwin riding.
I think it's falling. Definitely would have been worth it.
That yeah.
Did you see a bunny run past?
No, they don't have bunnies like that. Tortoise in the hair. You talking about the tortoise in the hair?
Oh yeah, I would have ridden it.
No way that thing was
Drew. You think a car seat?
How long that?
Strap it onto that.
Yeah?
Yeah, car seat. Put it on a shelf.
Española?
Yeah.
Could be.
What?
The Galapagos were a favorite stop of a lot of ships, so some of them might have named them after the island.
Yeah, point together.
This was, we went up to the top of a volcano. That's the crater of a volcano that's grown over with brush.
That's freaky.
That's Washington's family. He took us to see his family.
Oh.
Look, now this is in the wild. This is a giant tortoise. Now on this island there were still giant tortoises in the wild, and we drove out until we saw some.
But Pro, does Washington live on the Galapagos?
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
He grew up-
He actually lives here. He goes down there.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. That's what I wanted to make sure.
These were just crawling through the woods. You just walk out there in the woods, and there's these tortoises.
Didn't you all stay on a boat for that week?
Uh-huh.
I heard he was just vacationing.
Here, we're going into another cave, and you could take your
Whoa.
you can take your camera into these caves because it wasn't wet. That wasn't a very good picture. There's Theo telling us about the volcanic. Took a lot of cave pictures. Theo turned out the lights in the cave for us, and it was just pitch black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
But isn't the movie The Cave?
Did you ever do the thing where you eat the mint and they like spark?
Yeah.
Here was the bar at the end of the cave. We had a drink in the bar at the end of the
Yeah.
cave. There was a big tortoise shell on the floor.
You better not put that on.
Oh,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
You know it's coming in it.
I know. I already seen something.
Here we went to a school there, and they danced for us. They put on a show. That's us dancing with the kids.
Who's that guy?
And there is that's one of their classrooms.
I wonder if we can switch
How old are
classrooms.
they?
These are high school kids.
That guy looks like he's about 40.
This is like the best school in the
The
Galapagos.
teacher looked younger
It's
than
like the
us.
oldest one in the Galapagos.
It's not the only one, but this is supposed to be the best. But look at the walls. Look how small it is. They don't have TVs.
Wait, that's the whole thing.
That's a classroom.
Got an Igor.
You're lucky to be in the school in a nice school. Most schools in the world aren't.
But
Nice.
in America, they get paid $12,000 a month. They
Yeah,
pay,
that's
they
obviously
pay $10 a class. Yeah, that's crazy. $10 a class.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to afford it.
What's
This
that?
is what-
Baby
Whoa, what is that? Looks like
That's a baby. That's a baby fur seal.
Look at like married.
See how furry it is? These things always hid because these were hunted by humans and almost driven to extinction. So that there's only a few of them left. They were hunted for their fur. We went across and looked at these this island. See, that's the same cactus that was real tall is normal size on this island because it didn't have any tortoises eating the cactuses. And there it is on the different island where it's real tall. This was a recent volcanic island that had volcanic activity about 100 years ago. And you can see it's just lava everywhere. That's a lava tube I got into. Lava tubes are these hollow chambers that lava ran through. Ooh, that's a penguin.
Pangolin.
Wow, penguin.
The Galapagos has penguins.
It's a penguin.
The penguins come up from South America on the cold water currents.
Pangolin.
They've evolved into a species that's called the Galapagos penguin.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's a penguin.
It's me sleeping with some sea lions.
Nah, were you really
That's
asleep?
not what that is.
No, it was
You
fake.
should have got right
Well,
below.
there is a penguin, but
I got in for the hug.
There's a bunch of volcanic islands just stuck up in the middle of the ocean.
you guys read any of them?
Yeah. Here we are. Here's the boat looking into one of them. You can see that's a volcanic crater.
That boat must have been huge.
Yeah, it looks like a giant boat.
Is it warm in that little area?
No,
No,
actually
it's an
30
extinct
below.
volcano.
That'd be cool if it was warm about big
Like a big. Close that sea.
Here we go. Here we went up to the top of a kind of a volcanic mountain and looked down.
Oh, that not make sense. What's that thing about it while you were on it?
They would probably have.
That'd be bad.
It had a lighthouse at the top of it,
Did you miss the part where?
and this is looking down from the lighthouse. This is from the where they took a famous shot from the movie
I know. I'm thinking.
Master and Commander. And there was a bunch of ships over here in this cove, and they were hiding.
Looks like the boat left.
There's another group picture that didn't turn out. And this is, we went down here to the cove, and you can see there's sharks everywhere. And we're standing there taking a picture of sharks.
Why would you?
See the sharks swimming?
Why would you get in the water with
Yeah.
a shark?
He said, Washington said they don't bite.
Washington's like running.
Notice Washington is not in the water.
These volcanic islands that are stuck out in the middle of the open, they erode over thousands of years. And you can see how, look, the side of that one's eroding there. That big chunk falling off.
I noticed.
We went out into these swamps to look at the different things. There were a lot of sea turtles there.
Sounds like Michael.
Hey, bro, are those goggles you're on top of your head?
No, they were sunglasses. They were sunglasses.
One of the boats quit working and then he had to get towed in.
On their 25 horsepower.
Here's some diving seabirds. Took me a while to catch them diving. This is actually a blue-footed booby diving somewhere.
Doesn't that blind bird that got in the water after a while?
They eventually
Here's
died.
that. Oh, here he goes.
I got him.
Yeah.
Seems like he did a giant belly flop.
Diving seabirds. They were diving all over, but it's hard to get them on camera.
Really hot for food. That sounds like a
Like a what?
TV show.
So there's like an
advertising.
fair.
Yeah,
Like at the fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's like a big ladder.
Really hot for food.
Just reiterate the fact that you're fat.
There. Oh, no, that's not our
Oh, was that the boat?
No, that wasn't our boat. There's the blue-footed boobies.
Have you done the boat?
That's a baby blue-footed booby.
That's so funny.
They're actually white colored.
What are the chances of me being able to get one of those for a pet?
Pretty slim.
You'd have to steal it from the There's a dead baby blue-footed booby.
You could have that
See, I
one.
could take that one into my home instead of dying.
That looks like Mary.
Now these frigate birds, they blow up their net to get mates, and it stays blown up for 2 months. And during that time, they can hardly eat.
Why do they do that?
It's called a frigate bird. That's how they attract a mate. It's called sexual selection. We'll learn about it.
My stomach got real big. Is that a type of
Done.
Bright red.
Where's Carolina?
Rewind it.
Carolina, I need you here, please. Come on here, Carolina.
Is that Washington?
Yeah.
I need you here, please.
Carolina, he was always calling her because she was the photographer. He would get her, show her good pictures.
Show Washington
Is she
already.
the one who took like hundreds or thousands?
Yeah.
4,000
She
pictures.
did 4,000 pictures and like 15 hours of video.
Do you have any videos of just Washington?
Why did you video about
Just straight Washington.
There's us in the airport. They gave us these so we didn't get the we didn't bring the virus, the flu virus from
Is that
Western
Washington,
but
right?
no one was wearing it.
No.
No, that's Josh. That's
Gosh.
me. That's me.
Did you wear it all the way back?
No, we just wore it for the picture. The end.
I want to see Washington.
Because
Nice
it's dead.
picture. Oh, I get
Or
it.
is it?
Something.
I get it.
No, really, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I get it like
What?
the end.
Yeah, it's the dead bird.
Ha ha ha.
That's funny. So
Thanks for
Oh my gosh, you figured that out?
I did.
So the Galapagos, very interesting.
Crow, do you want to sign off?
No, we're starting.
Oh.
We got 10 minutes here. We're starting the next section.
Starting the question too. You don't remember my introduction?
I remember that.
So if you would, open your book to 15.2, page 423.
Go open to the page.
Are you looking for the picture where he's riding on the tortoise?
Is it in your book?
No, I said, do you have that?
Appreciate
No, I don't have it.
Pro, I'm gonna go home and look that up.
Look it up.
Oh, Ben, no, Ben.
Okay.
I think you're at
Are you stealing my man narrative?
I might be the one. I believe that.
All right. This is a transition. Okay, my turn. This is a transitionary fossil. People said, okay, it's my turn, please. Critics of evolution said, well, if evolution happens, for instance, if birds really came from dinosaurs, shouldn't there be a half bird, half dinosaur type creature if evolution works slowly the way it's thought to do?
Archaeopteryx.
Well, this is an example of one of those, and thousands of these transitionary fossils have been found. This one's called Archaeopteryx. It was a dinosaur. Okay. It was a dinosaur that had feathers. And it has a lot of the characteristics of dinosaurs, for instance, claws at the end of its arms and teeth. The bones are heavy. This thing wouldn't have been able to fly. But the feathers did give it the ability to glide. And here we have fossil evidence of the Archaeopteryx. Yes, Ben?
How would they know that it has feathers? Because like,
because you can see in the bones here, this is the actual imprint. The bones have been fossilized and the wings are imprinted. So you can see it. You can see the wings there. You can see the feathers. This is what it would have looked like.
Ostrich.
Meredith.
Would it have been really big though?
But not every species survived from that time. Far from it. Here are some of the losers in the struggle we call evolution. Now, near fossilized remains.
It's a trilobite.
Those species that could not compete successfully, or adapt to changing environments, or have the bad luck to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, were doomed to extinction.
It's an ammonoid. They went extinct when the dinosaurs went extinct. They look like snails.
Bro, you ever seen The Mummy?
Yes.
You know those bugs that
Yes.
don't,
They look like trilobites, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
They look like
I think they were just made up bugs. They might have been based on trilobites. Did we talk about these homologous structures?
No.
Look at the way the one common evidence of evolution that scientists use is what we call homologous structures. If you look at the wing of a bat, and the wing of a bird, and the fin of a whale, and the leg of a cat, leg of a horse, and the arm of a human, they all have the same bone structure, even though they do different things. A whale's fin is for swimming, and a bat's wing is for flying, and a horse's leg is for running. So why would they all have the same structure? If you look, they all have a single bone up top called the humerus, two bones after that called the radius and the ulna, a bunch of pebble-like bones, which is kind of strange, in the wrist. They're called the carpals. And then these long series of bones called phalanges. And every organism has that same structure. And this is suggestive to scientists that all of these share a common ancestor that had that bone structure. And that bone structure that the common ancestor had changed to form the fin or the wing or the leg, depending on what they needed to survive. And so we call those homologous structures because they're all alike. And indeed, the organism that all of these things evolved from was a reptile that had that bone structure. Mammals came from reptiles, we know that. Now here's a different structure that's called a vestigial structure. A vestigial structure is a structure that's very small, and kind of in the act of disappearing. If humans, for instance, have a vestigial structure, the tailbone. If what that suggests to scientists is, why have a tailbone if we don't have a tail? Well, possibly we evolved from organisms that did have tails and lost that tail. Through time, the tail got smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually will probably disappear, but it's still small. It's small now, and you can see it. There are lots of examples of vestigial structures. This is one, the appendix, this little thing hanging here. In a monkey, the appendix is bigger than the large intestine. It's real big, and it's used to break down plant material. Our appendix is real small, but has the same cellular structure as that big thing the monkey has, which suggests that we must have come from organisms that ate plants.
Or maybe
but our diet
came from us.
moved from eating leaves, that ate leaves. Yes?
How come some people get their appendix removed and some don't?
The appendix can fill up with bacteria and burst. And when that happens, bacteria spill out into the body cavity and can cause a massive infection that can kill you. So when this thing starts swelling up and getting ready to burst, it hurts. And the doctors say, let's just cut that thing out.
Like, what if you just think you have like a bad stomach ache or something?
Well, if you don't go to the doctor, your appendix can then burst. So if you ever have a real bad pain, you should go to the doctor in case it's something like your appendix.
How long does it take to burst?
Yeah, like what?
Some people, it just bursts, and then they have to clean up the infection. They give you a lot of antibiotics.
What's causing it?
I don't know what causes it. Somehow the bacteria living in there start eating the walls of the appendix. And some people it just never happens, and some people it happens. Here's another vestigial structure, the bone, the leg bones in the back of a whale. We also see them in the back of snakes. Snakes have little leg bones, suggesting that snakes came from something with leg bones, and we find out now that snakes came from lizards. But if you look at a snake skeleton, you'll also see leg bones in that, just like if you look at a whale skeleton, you see leg bones in that. Look at the eye of a cavefish. Non-functional and grown over with skin. Cavefish live in dark caves where eyes do them no good. So over time, the eye has disappeared and just become a non-functional dot. That's a vestigial structure left from, we assume that this organism evolved from fish that had eyes that ended up living in caves.
Yeah, did you ever see that one movie? There was a movie where like all these humans were in this cave, and they were in there for so long that they lost.
I never saw that.
They lost the use of it. Let's over the D.
Well, then how do they move around?
They use just the sense of feel. There's a lateral line that runs down their side that can feel current movements and stuff. So it's kind of like bats. You know how they use echolocation?
Yeah.
They call out, and then the echo bounces off, and they hear it. Well, these things can feel the water movement. Okay, so 15.2. Start reading it. Will us out.